Hey guys, Mike with Become the Knight. I'm not 100% sure why I felt like doing this video, but I guess with some recent videos coming up and seeing certain comments in certain comment sections, I think it was appropriate to really lay this out. So first off, what is a mission statement? A mission statement is basically usually one sentence. Every once in a while you can get away with like 2-3 sentences tops of basically saying what the main objective, the main goal is of your organization or whatever your entity is, what you want to accomplish. Seeing so many people in the music sphere who preach a lot about how important music is, but then also seemingly don't take it as seriously as they claim to, it really dawned on me. I don't think there are many artists, if there are any music artists out there, who actually have a mission statement. For any company, any organization, any group of people to truly stay moored to their path that they want to go down, which we are going to assume is a good and moral path, you need a mission statement in order to compare your current position or where you are in the future with your mission statement. Are we still sticking to the mission statement? Does the mission statement still fit with where we're going? Do we need to alter it at all? I think if you really want to enact change in any way, a mission statement, it's not necessarily essential, but it helps make sure that the change is what you want it to be, and it also helps make sure that, especially given that there are tons of worldly temptations out there, that you don't get led astray. I see most musicians' mission statements as I want to make music and have fun, and some of that may involve a little bit of ego stroking. I think that's just a mostly universal thing with musicians. Some of them also want to help educate and teach kids about music, but they never address the why, as far as why we should educate people about music. You know, these in and of themselves aren't necessarily bad. It can be twisted for ill, for sure, but I also think that they're a little bit short-sighted. If you recall my video where I did the little college lecture, there'll be a link to that somewhere. I had talked about, you know, what was your main purpose for doing music in the first place? What is your main objective? Is it to enrich yourself or to enrich others? So, before I get into that, I look at my YouTube channel and my actual musicianship as two different mission statements. They definitely do have synergy and work together, but they are definitely distinct and separate. My essential mission statement on YouTube, if I can boil it down to one sentence, I'm kind of just coming with this off the top of my head, is to build an audience for my music and for other music that I consider to be neglected yet absolutely awesome, by further educating people as to what makes music great and why music is important. Part of that comes with just having fun, like yesterday's tier ranking thing. That was just fun, you know. I know people like watching that shit. It's popcorn eating type of stuff, and then you go and argue about it in the comments. I mean, if you're really taking it that seriously, like, dude, chill the fuck out. But I think kind of like a side mission statement, which kind of blends the two facets of me together, my YouTube side and my musician side, is there's a music revolution coming, and we're already starting to see the beginnings of it. We may already be in the beginning of it, and that's going to happen not just through the business side of things and the consumer side of things, but it's going to happen through the music itself. And I think people are really starting to wake up to just how dumbed down, reductive, and recycled a lot of today's very popular music is. So if you want to know why I smack them in the face, like a lot of pop artists, I try to do it to the ones that deserve it more than not. I do it because some people need to be woken up a little bit, and you can't do that just by being like, a lot of people won't pay attention unless you're a little bit dramatic about it. Also, it emphasizes the importance of music itself. I've had a number of people be like, oh, you're taking this too seriously. you're not taking it remotely seriously enough. Music is an integral part of how we process things mentally. If music disappeared from the earth, mankind would not last very long because everyone would go insane. Even this one girl who I met a couple nights ago, she was very much into books and podcasts, and she's like, I'm just really not into music. And, you know, when people say that, I get the gist of what they're saying, but I don't think she would ever say that music isn't important to her necessarily, so much as she really doesn't love it the way that most other people do, and especially not me. And, you know, I was just thinking to myself, like, she would notice if all of the music left her life. I guarantee it. And because music has become so inextricably interwoven with words, actual semantic sound, that means that the meaning that's coming across in these poems has significance. There's a reason why they call it popular culture. It's not just because it's something that's just like, it's just a thing that's fun. I mean, you can look at it that way, but I mean, at the end of the day, if it's just about fun, that's your philosophy, and that's a rather shallow philosophy. Again, not to say you can't include some fun in your life and in your philosophy, but if that's the basis of it, that's bad. That opens itself up to being manipulated to so many evil purposes. So that's a big reason why I take a swing at those artists, and also the fact that part of this revolution that I see happening, which I would love to be an integral part of making happen. I mean, we'll see whether that happens or not, but hey, at least I'm gonna try. Another integral part of this revolution is information, which I feel like has been so neglected by musicians and music lovers alike. There is so much information going around right now that is subverting large establishment media companies on both an entertainment and a news and commentary level. And I'm not just talking about on the right, that's also happening on the left. There are a lot of people on the left, actually, who are subverting the run-of-the-mill Democratic Party talking points. So the real ideological battle right now is really taking place online, where there's so many people who are completely unaware that it's happening, but at least there are some people, especially younger people, who are actually invested into the internet and social media. They see at least some of it taking place. That isn't happening for music, and it really needs to. Musicians are very rarely truly philosophers. They just typically just like having a really good time. They enjoy the basic yet so wholesome and so necessary act of fulfilling people with their art, and I think that that's an absolutely beautiful thing. But that part of it that makes it necessary also makes it very important, and I don't want that to be overlooked. So me smacking around a pop artist is less about trying to attack that artist. I would never really wish ill on a person ever. I would wish that their career came to an end unless they actually changed and did something good. I would much rather someone with that type of spotlight actually change as opposed to having their career destroyed. But it's really a proxy attack at establishment music industry, and that is a very key component to what I see happening and what needs to change. You know, I hear people talking about lobbying groups all the time and all of this money in politics. Almost nobody ever talks about the communications industry and how much money they dump into politics and how much they're overlooked. Everyone bitches about Comcast and how horrible of a company they are. Do you have any idea how much money they spend in lobbying in order to hold what is essentially a... Not to mention the large media conglomerates, which I talk about all the time. They spend boatloads of money fighting this intellectual property war that barely anyone knows about, and as far as I know, I'm the only person with a mouth on my side who's even trying to argue against it. You get people like Lizzie Hale, God bless her, out there trying to say I'm fighting for artists' rights when she's really just a mouthpiece for a bunch of establishment bastards. It's shit like that that really needs to come to an end, and people need to be woken up. That's why I talk about the economics and the business side of it. Because basically, when they have that economic stranglehold, they have the ability to shut down people who are basically having dissenting ideas and opinions, and want to create a space which is more open to people being more creative and being more easily discovered by the public. Again, there's most likely gonna be a lot less super rich artists out there, but that's not a bad thing. Since when has being filthy rich ever helped an artist create better art? So, I got a little sidetracked there, but another big part of my mission statement as a musician is being able to help enrich people's lives with my music. I would like people to walk away feeling like their life is a net positive after listening to my songs. You know, feel however you want to feel about the stuff that I release on YouTube. That's really short term, kind of cranked it out pretty quickly songs. And if that's any indication, the stuff that I'm actually taking a lot more time with will be significantly better. Where we're actually doing rewrites, where we're actually going to get this professionally mixed, hopefully, where we're going to record real drums, where I won't be singing vocals. I think that the selfless side of being a musician and an artist really gets overlooked a lot because it is so ego-focused of a profession, which I think that's just a natural thing. You are expressing yourself and you're very introspective and like, what do I really feel that's going to satisfy my emotional needs, which is not inherently a bad thing. But then how do you take that expression that is an outlet for you and make it so that you try and communicate and enrich someone else's lives? It's a weird balance to strike. It really is, and it's something that I've had to really think about for a while, but I think it's absolutely possible, and in my opinion, it's a more enlightened way of looking at art in general, and that including music. You know, people talk about fan service and blah, 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 and yeah, I mean, you can understand some artists do petty fan service in order to sell tickets or sell albums. That stuff's kind of annoying, or sometimes it's just a way of saying like, hey, we heard you guys, we just want to make something that you love, here, we'll give you what you want. Which I can understand that to a degree, though sometimes it hurts a little bit. And you know, even diving into that, it is a little bit of a give and take of, you know, the artist, in order to make really good stuff, needs to really feel what art they're making, and that changes over time naturally. Actually, you know what? I'm not even sure if I 100% agree with that statement, because I've known from my own experience and other artists who have made art that they didn't feel whatsoever, and it was kind of just like a theoretical, formulaic type of thing, and it spoke volumes to a lot of people. So maybe that's not even necessarily the case. Maybe it is really just an ego fueling. Either way, to round all this up, I would like to, from a musician's perspective, make art that does speak to me, but is geared towards speaking to other people. I will have a pretty concrete message in my music, but it might be veiled to start out. We'll see. I do also like the ability for the listener to project upon lyrics the meaning that they need to take from it in order to get a certain amount of emotional release. And then from the YouTube side of it, I like to educate and to try and take stabs at some bastards who shouldn't be as popular as they are. Both of these together working to make a better music atmosphere, culture, economy, industry. And I think that more people should take this stance, and you know, you have to be entertaining in this sphere. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I don't hear about these guys, is because they're probably policy wonks and they're like, glasses on, coffee cup in hand, blah, 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 blah. Before Congress, I shall speak. That shit's boring. But there really needs to be more voices than just mine. And, you know, they don't have to think exactly the way I do. I would prefer to have some people who actually have some knowledge on these topics, who have different ideas, to throw them back and forth at me so we can actually start a movement instead of just me being a fucking pissy little revolutionary here. I think the biggest thing holding those people back is they're afraid of getting blackballed. I'm like, please blackball me. I will still stomp a giant hole in your asshole. Because thankfully with the internet, I don't need your connections. And thankfully with the internet, we can subvert your shitty ass business model. Anyway, I think I've come to a point here. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. That's what I'm trying to do with this channel and with my career and my life. and it's definitely not a secure calling, but I think that it needs to be done, and I don't see anybody else doing it. And Lord knows I'm inherently an anti-authoritarian, so it's like fulfilling to my personality type as well. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Am I fucking delusional? No, I'm not delusional. I'm well aware of where I'm at here. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm going to make all of the change and be this great hero. No, that's not at all what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is there's obviously change happening. There needs to be more change happening. I see that, and I'm willing to open my mouth about it. And if that makes you think that I'm pretentious or ego-fueled or that I'm self-aggrandizing, I don't think you really understand the burden that it is to try and do something like that, especially when I don't make close to six figures, and I have multi-billion-dollar corporations that are trying to silence people like me. If I really wanted to be self-aggrandizing, I'd just buy into the system. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm interested to hear them. If you like this video, if you like what I do on this channel, if you like my mission statement, please support me on Subscribestar. Subscribestar is the only way that I can keep making videos for you on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Become the Knight. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Rock on!